Congratulations, you're a dad. Now what? So in this video, I'm going to share with you the 10 tips I wish someone would have told me before I became a father for the first time. Hey, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, my name is Bennett. I'm a high performance coach and I'm here to share ideas with you to help you live a richer life. The first thing I wish somebody would have shared with me beforehand was to come up with a schedule. And it might sound obvious, but we have to understand that our lives are going to change. There's going to be another person that we're going to be responsible for. And if we could start to set ourselves up before that happens, just in terms of our daily routines and things that we're going to be wanting to do and needing to do, it's going to allow us to see that success. Because many times I see different people, and it happened to me also, where I had a certain expectation of certain things being able to happen. But because I didn't realize that there's another person I need to take care of, that it wasn't always on my time anymore. And because of that, I had to get myself more on a schedule to make sure that I could just get the things done that I really need to get done. The second piece of advice that I wish I would have gotten, which might be the most important one, is we have to understand that we have to be there for our spouse or our partner. You see, although we're going through our own change and we're doing the things that we need to be doing, our spouse just went through a very crazy experience. And if we could show our support to be there for them, understanding that their emotions might be a little off for the next couple of weeks, we could show that we are going to be there for them during the good and the bad times. There's going to be lots of sleepless nights, and there's going to be a lot of things that are just new for everybody. And if we could start to build together a stronger bond through this experience, it's only going to be able to help you and your child in order to become that parent that they need. So whether it's being for them, listening to them, or really just looking to do something to help them out, it could really help out in terms of that relationship, which is only going to help out in terms of your own personal growth within becoming a parent. And that transitions into the third tip. You see, when it comes to raising a child, you should try to take advantage of any friends or family who are willing to help. There are going to be lots of times where you're going to just be exhausted and you're going to need that second pair of hands just to get in a 15 or 20 minute nap. And if you could call somebody to either come over for a few minutes or just to be able to go on a walk with somebody just to change things up, it could really be a big difference for your own growth and your own stamina. Sometimes as fathers, we want to be able to do everything we can, but we have to understand that we have to preserve our own energy. And if we're using too much energy, all that's going to do is going to burn us out even quicker. Utilize the people that we have around us and look to ask for help even if you might not really need it. The fourth category comes under the category of safety. You see, as a new parent, so many times we don't really know what we're doing. And because of that, we're very scared with every move our child makes. If you are concerned about anything, you could just call your doctor. There's usually a 24/7 hotline that you could get on the phone to somebody, and God forbid it's an actual emergency, they'll be able to guide you and tell you what you need to do. 98% of the time, it's going to be nothing, but it's your fatherly instinct to make sure that your child's going to be okay. And this takes it to the step of, what about raising our kid? And as a new father, you might be really nervous and really scared to see, hey, I really don't want to mess up my kid. Maybe your parents did that to you and you really don't want to be like that person. So one of the tricks I used to use was to try to think of a friend of mine who already had a child that I knew I was more capable than. And what was so interesting is that I always told myself, if he can do it, then I can do it. And parenthood is sort of this thing that you really need to figure out on the fly. And every time you think you got it, your child's going to get to the next phase of life and you're going to have to adapt and change with it. Look to be a chameleon, but look to understand that it's okay and you're going to be fine as long as you stay with it and you keep it a priority to you. Think about it. The fact that you're feeling a little bit nervous in terms of how it is that you're going to raise your child, you're probably ahead of most people, because how many people don't really care and just going to let their kids try to figure it out. Understand that you're caring and your nervousness in terms of how your child's going to be raised is actually a good thing to have, and it's only going to help you become a better father. And if you're looking to become a better father, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below so you can get more content and more insight into what is it you can do to step into that role. The sixth tip that you're going to need to know is that you need to set proper expectations. And I'm sure many people have told you that you're going to have sleepless nights. But do you really know what that means? We have to understand when it comes to raising a child, there are going to be certain expectations that we're going to have and certain expectations that we're going to quickly learn that we expected too much out of them. If we could start to understand what's really going to happen, we're not going to be upset when our kid wakes up for the third time in the middle of the night wanting to feed. Dennis Prager talks about in his book, Happiness is a Serious Problem, that one of the biggest reasons why people are so unhappy these days is because their expectation is too high. If you could have a proper expectation, a realistic expectation, understanding that it's going to be hard and we don't even know what hard really means, that is going to be the thing that's going to allow you to get through those tough times, because there are going to be tough times. And that transitions into my next point. There are going to be times where you are just going to be exhausted, you're going to be tired, you're going to be cranky. And what we have to understand is that the safety of your child is the number one concern. So if you find yourself getting edgy or starting to get really frustrated, understand you could always just put the child in the bassinet or the crib, and even if they're crying, they're going to be okay. You're a person too, when you need to take care of yourself as well. So understanding that sometimes you're going to need a break is going to be okay. And you can have that partner who is going to be able to help you out during those times and really just communicate with them. You'll be able to really balance each other out because they're going to need that support as well sometimes. And that's why tip number 8 is so important, because you're going to have to get out and you're going to have to get moving. Just like with anybody who's in a bad rut, the first thing you could start to do is to either go on a walk or go on a run. You yourself are going to have to find that time in order to do that. Whether it's going to hang out with the guys or going to see a movie, doing something to get out of the house and get yourself to be more productive is going to be the thing that's going to allow you to conserve your energy, to make sure that you're not going to get burnt out. Don't forget to put in your calendar what does you need to do to allow yourself to have the most energy possible. The 9th tip is really for the next phase of your child. You see, so many times parents come in and they try to figure out how they're supposed to change a diaper, how they're supposed to swaddle their baby. Should they use a pacifier? Should they not use a pacifier? And what's really interesting is that so many people are going to have a different opinion. But if you can start to be a student and you can start to learn these different ideas, it could be something that can really help you to make sure you could take it to the next level. So when your child does reach the next stage, they're going to be okay because you're going to know exactly what you need to do. There's so many great parenting books out there, and just look on Amazon and see which ones have amazing reviews, and you'll be able to really learn what it is that can happen. So many of the things that you're going to experience and go through as a father, you're going to see is so common, and so many people go through the same exact thing. If you have the ability to get those answers, whether it's through a book or whether it's through a mentor, make sure to get those answers to be able to set yourself up for success so you're not floundering and making sure that you're playing catch up. And the 10th and final tip is to make sure you take in the moments. Everybody talks about how quickly it goes by, and the truth is, it flies by. So although you're going to be exhausted, although you can't wait for your child to sleep through the nights, I'm telling you, you're going to cherish these times and you're going to look back on how adorable and how cute your kid was. One of the things I tell my clients who are looking to just live a more meaningful life is to take more pauses throughout the day, to just stop, to look around, to smell, maybe not smell what's going on, but allow yourself to really be in the moment. And if you could start to be in the moment more, be present more, like holding your child, you're going to be able to just look at them while they're sleeping or while they're crying. It's going to be a time in your life that I'm telling you, you're going to wish you had back later on. So there are my 10 tips for being a first-time father. Let me know which one down below was the biggest one for you. And make sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you really like this type of content, make sure to take a look at the next video.